Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn energy reading. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not. I'm going to use my vice versa cards, so there are images on both sides of the deck. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, the links are down below. Also, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. All right, we have the Seven of Pentacles, we have the Five of Swords, and we have the Fool. When this flipped over, I felt in this moment right now, this moment is what is important. We have the King of Swords. We have the Ten of Swords, and we have there's, right, shedding that skin, and don't look back. All right, we have the Seven of Swords, putting things behind you. There's a little skeleton, a skeleton head with a hat on it, which is behind the rock. Tower. And the Wheel. And then for some reason, I feel like for overall energy, we have the Five of Pentacles. I don't know, I guess we'll put it there. Okay. I feel that you're kind of, with this energy here, like he's sitting on the rock with a shovel and he's looking at this tree that has some pentacles on it, but basically the tree it looks burnt. And then we have the person is standing here, and then that person is walking away, and then we have the Fool, which is that new beginning. I feel that there's something that you keep holding on to that you're having trouble moving on from it, that you keep sitting there on that rock. And I feel like it's almost like you keep staring at something and you think that it's going to change. The longer that you look at it, or the longer that you will keep yourself in this energy, that you feel that it's going to change. And I feel that you're having trouble walking away from something and starting something new. That it's almost like, well, if I stare at it long enough, maybe it'll change. You know, it's like when we watch movies, and it's like, we think, like every time we watch, we know what's going to happen, and we think, well, maybe this time that person will do something different, but they don't. And I feel that that's where you are. You're kind of stuck sitting on this rock and kind of looking at something and saying, well, if I think about it long enough, or if I stare at it long enough, that it will change, that it'll be different this time around. And I feel like you're having trouble moving on from that. I feel that what you need to focus on is this moment right now, and how with this Ten of Swords, he's taken off his armor and he's looking at his armor, and he's kind of seeing, I feel like what you need to do is you need to look at how that sitting on that rock trying to change something that isn't going to change, or can't change, or won't change at this moment right now, that you need to release that, and you need to let it go, and you need to say, okay, like see the damage that it's causing yourself by keeping yourself in this energy, and to put it behind you, like this King of Swords here. And no, this is the Knight of Swords, sorry. This is the Knight of Swords, this is the King of Swords. Seeing where you are in this present moment. I don't use this deck very often, so that's why it's confusing me. But that's the Knight and that's the King. Seeing how keeping yourself in this energy is not helping you. and to remove yourself from the situation. And right here we have, there's an eclipse. So the moon is covering the sun. And that's what we're getting into, is eclipse season. And I was just watching another tarot reader, and it was the love messages and the Capricorn one, and she was saying how this eclipse season and how like there's big changes coming. There's big shifts. And I believe that, and I can feel that. I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising, and I feel that goes again. And she was talking about how you have to fully release things, and you fully have to let things go. And she talked about purging and, you know, cleaning through your closet, which is what I'm always saying, and releasing things and letting go. And sorry, I have hiccups. Feeling that lightness of being able to let things go. And definitely when with him taking off his armor here, he feels this lightness. And if you do that work during the eclipse, that you feel this lightness, that he's not carrying this heavy armor around him anymore. He's not carrying it around because it's been stabbed many times with all of these swords. So why carry all of those burdens, and why carry all of those things around you? And move on from that. And with these crystals coming out, I feel like it's this new beginnings and these new starts and branching out in different directions. Future energies coming in, again, Tower, rebuilding, change, walking away from those things and putting an end to something, with the Seven of Swords here, with the skeleton head behind the rock and putting it behind you. And he's leaving some of these swords behind, and I feel that's you, is leaving those things behind. There's a lot of swords in this reading, and I did another reading the other day with a lot of swords, and I feel like it's that mental part of you, and that processing, and that really figuring things out for yourself. There was one reading I did that had, it was like, are you thinking with your head or your heart? And I feel with this purging and with this eclipse and with this cycle coming through, even though it may be a tough one, I feel that you're letting go of this armor, of this protection that you've been putting on yourself, where you've been taking these hits, but it's time to let those things go. And I feel, open yourself up and be more vulnerable, even though that's a scary thing. But I feel that you've had all of these, so many walls around you and this hard protection around you, that you feel this emptiness inside. And I feel that it's having the armor, but then not having the armor. It's like having that protection, but it's like, it's being more aware of what the energies are that you're surrounding yourself with supportive people, surrounding yourself with those positive things, those glimmers, and seeing what triggers you, or seeing, you know, purging what doesn't work for you, but focusing on what does work for you, what does motivate you. And again, with the Tower here and the mask being split, and I just feel like it's really coming more into your true self. And this is definitely something with the Five of Pentacles, feeling that energy of kind of being down and out, and feeling like it's almost like you hit rock bottom. But you know what? When you hit rock bottom, there's no place up left to go except for up. And seeing it in that perspective, and saying, okay, I've got to purge things, I've got to let things go, I've got to take this armor off, I've got to put it behind me and not go back to it and try and think that things are going to change, when if they haven't, then and maybe it's like realizing that doesn't serve you anymore, and saying, well, what can I learn from this situation and move on from that and bring change. I feel that there's big change cycles coming through, But again, it's the process that you're going and being in this moment now with the Knight of Swords facing this way, being in this moment now. And what can you control now? What can you do now? What can you work on now? All right, let's grab a final. Living in the present moment. What can you deal with today? What can you work on today? What can you release today? What can you put behind you today? Working on it. Working on the situation, and again, working on what you can work on today. Not in the future, not in the past. What can you work on today? What can you deal with today? What can you release today? I love that because we have the Three of Wands, and then we have the Sail, and then we have the Fool on there, and it's almost like freeing that path to moving forward and giving yourself new hope. And I always feel that, like with the Fool, is that he packs really light. He doesn't have all these suitcases and all of this baggage that he's carrying on him, that he's packed light, that he's releasing and letting go, especially with this one here, with the flowers and the petals are falling off and letting go. And I feel that that frees you up to have a lighter load and opening new doors. I love it. New opportunities that come in, that, as I always say, where you're closing one door, you're opening up new doors, and seeing it as in that perspective. But it's work that you have to do. It's work that you have to look at. It's those things that I feel like with this, it's like sometimes we feel like when we have so much to do that we just want to shut down and we just want to ignore things, and we don't want to deal with things because dealing with things seems harder. But when we deal with those things, we learn that you're stronger, you're more confident, and that you've purged and you've let those things go, and you've moved on from situations, and that lightens your load, and that gives you this sense of accomplishment and this lighter feeling. And instead of keeping yourself in this heavy energy where you feel like it's pushing you down, saying, how can I work on things to lift myself up? I feel that you have a lot of work to do, but it's like you have to be in that frame of mind, right? With the Swords, you have to be in the frame of mind is, okay, I want to work on things, right? That I want to purge those things. I want to purge those, I know that this situation here isn't going to change, and it hasn't changed. So what can I do now to move forward? All right, we're going to grab a Star Dragons. I feel like it's a Star Dragons moment. Bliss, cherishing the day. Again, I feel like that goes back to the Knight of Swords, is in the present moment. Like that card stood out to me the most in the reading. That card really is, it's like, be here now in this moment. What can you change, right? You can't change the past. You don't know what's coming in, but in this moment, cherishing the day, cherishing today, making the most out of the day today. All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.